Okay. So hey everyone, welcome to the session 4 of the 6 days GitHub Bootcamp by GDSC Banastili Vidyapeeth. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm Sargam Agarwal, a technical team member at GDSC Banastili Vidyapeeth. If this is your first time attending a GDSC event, then let me guide you through GDSC. Google Developer Student Clubs are the college communities which are run and led by college students. We work in a collaborative environment to generate solutions to the real world problems. And GDSC Banastili Vidyapeeth is one among them. With that being said, moving on to the timeline, this is the fourth session of the 6 days GitHub Bootcamp. In case you have missed on to the previous 3 sessions, make sure to check them out so as to gain a better understanding of today's session. With that being said, I'd like to hand over to Sneha Agarwal for the further proceedings.
Thank you so much, Sargam. And hello, everyone. This is Neha Agarwal from GDSC Banastili Vidyapeeth. And in today's session, we'll be diving deeper into the ways of contributing to an existing open source project. Now, let's look at the objective of today's session. So, firstly, we'll be learning how to create a PR in an open source project. Next, we'll be having hands-on demonstration of contributing to Banastili Vidyapeeth's first open source project, that is Code Crossroad. Lastly, we'll be learning the best practices to contribute in our project. Moving ahead, I'll be briefing you all with the contribution workflow. So, the first step is to explore the project and go through the README file. As the name suggests, README file is the file which needs to be read first, as it includes all the necessary information about any open source project, that is, its contribution guidelines. Next, create an issue and wait for the issue to be assigned. Once the issue is assigned, the next step is to fork the repository and clone the forked repository onto a local machine. Having done that, add upstream repository so as to pull the changes from upstream or original repository before making any further changes. Next, make the required changes in the project on a local machine and commit those changes. Once done that, push those changes to the forked repository and create a pull request. Once the pull request is created, now wait patiently for the owner to review your PR. So if you are hearing all these terms for the very first time, don't worry because Sargam will be explaining you each and every step with a practical implementation in a while. So before we start contributing to the project, I would like to show you all a glimpse of the Code Crossroad repository. So for that, just type in Google GDSE Vanasthali Vidyapeeth Code Crossroad. The first link that appears on your screen is the link that we are looking for. Click on that. On being clicked, we'll end up on the Code Crossroad repository, which is the first ever open source project of GDSE Vanasthali Vidyapeeth. Now you can see some familiar data structures and algorithms folders over here. So these folder contains nothing but the question files and the respective answer code files. So let's just look at some folder, say arrays. Here you can see some MD files and some language-based files. So the MD files are basically the question files and the answer files are dependent upon the language preferred by the contributor. On being scrolled, here you can see the README file for this folder, which contains the available questions for contribution. Now, on going back again, you can see here the code of conduct, guidelines, and lastly, this README file. So this is the README file for the entire project Code Crossroad, and it includes the detailed description of everything you need to know in order to contribute to the project. So here you can see the code structure as discussed before. Next, you can see the companies that have visited Vanasthali Vidyapeeth for placements and internships. Next, we have the languages available to contribute in. Now here comes the major area of a concern, that is the contribution guidelines. So I would really suggest you all to go through these guidelines before contributing to our project, which has got guidelines for issue creation, guidelines for code base, where to upload files. So that's how the entire repository looks like. Now, Sargam will be giving you all the practical implementation of the entire process. That being said, over to you, Sargam, now.
Thank you so much, Neha. So now let's jump into the practical implementation. Okay. So here we are on DSE Vanasthali Vidyapeeth's Code Crossroad repository. Okay. So once we have decided that we want to contribute to this particular repository or project, so we have to do some basic steps for the basic setup before we can start contributing. So the first step is to fork this repository. Okay. So you can see the option over here. Just click on this. So this basically makes a copy of the project in your GitHub account, right? So you can see that as soon as I click on that particular button, I'm redirected to a copy of Code Crossroad, but in my GitHub account, okay? And it clearly mentions that it is forked from DSE Vanasthali Vidyapeeth's Code Crossroad repository, okay? After having done that, you simply have to click on this code button over here and copy this HTTPS link, okay? So once it is copied, get back to your system. Now, the thing is that we have to clone this particular project on our local machine as well. Now, why exactly do we have to do that? Because since we are contributing to the project, we are required to, let's say, add some files or modify some file or delete some file. So for that, we need to operate on the project. So obviously for that, we need to have the have the project on our system so that we can make any modifications that we want. So since I want to clone my project on my desktop itself, I'm simply going to do the right click over here. Sorry for that. Okay, and I'm going to say git bash here. Okay, So git bash is opening in the desktop, as you can see. Now to clone it, I simply type in the command git clone, and I paste the link that I just copied. And as you can see, it is the link of my forked repository, right? And I press enter. Now it says cloning into code crossroad. So it's now cloning. So let's wait for its execution to end. Okay. Great. So I just increase the font size. Right. So now it's done. And if I minimize this, you can see this project that is cloned on my desktop. So if you just open it up, you can see, the complete folder structure and files like as it was there on the GitHub. So you can see in arrays you have these question files which are in the text documents, right, and the CPP files, okay, which are the solutions. Great. Now after having done that, we need to get back to, let's say, our this git bash, and let's say just log out over here. Okay. Now let's understand one concept, that for example we are contributing to a project and we open up the project to contribute after 1 week, let's say, right? So obviously in the span of this 1 week there might be some new changes in the original repository, right? Because a lot of people might be contributing, or let's say the owners and the maintainers, they themselves are working on that project. So the thing is that before you start making any further changes into your, in the project on your local machine, we should basically be updated with the changes that happened during this time period, right? So what we do is we have to add upstream to the project on our local machine, right? So what we do is we simply go on to the original repository, not the forked one. Currently we are in the forked one, but we just go on to the original repository, right? So here we are on the original repository, and we copy its HTTPS code, okay, in the same way as we copied it earlier, right, for the forked repository. Now after having done that, we simply get back to our system. We get into the path, let's say we open our project on the local machine, and over here I'm gonna do git bash here, okay. So it will open up the git bash in my cloned project. So you can see we are in code crossroad main branch. Let me just increase the font size, right? So we are in code crossroad main branch, right? And over here I simply have to add the link or the repo, the original repository as upstream. So I'm gonna type in the command git remote add upstream, and I'm gonna paste that link, okay, because of some reason I copied that one. So let me just get back to that particular repository and copy it again. Okay, fine, and I just insert this, right? So you can see it is the link of the original repository, right? And I press enter. So now the upstream is added, right? So now if you want to check all the remotes that you have basically added for this particular project on your local machine, you can just type in the command git remote -v. So now you can see that it shows that your forked repository is your origin, right? And your original repository, that is DSC Vanasthali Vidyapeeth repository, is your upstream, right? So the thing is that as soon as you fork your repository, as soon as you fork the original repository, this origin is automatically set as remote, right? So remote simply means the URLs that point to a particular repository, right? So basically origin is another name for my forked repository, as you can see, right? And upstream is another name for the original repository of DSC Vanasthali Vidyapeeth. That is what it simply means, right? So this was the basic setup that is required before you can start contributing. So for the time being, we don't have anything to do over here, so we'll exit or log out. Okay, so let's just close everything. Now getting back to the project, the original project, the thing is that before you can start contributing, you have to basically raise an issue. Okay, so you can see the issues tab over here, so we just click over here. Okay, now over here you can see that there are 18 open issues and 27 closed issues, and remember that we are in the original repository, right? So now what is an issue? So basically the thing is that you explore the project, right? And you could see something where you can, where you think that I should be making some modifications, or let's say this project needs some modification. So the thing is that you should be firstly telling the project maintainers or the owners that this is what I intend to do with the project, right? So you are basically asking them to validate if they are even wanting or needing that change in their project, right? Because let's say you just start working on the project and then create a pull request, ask them to merge those changes in their project, but then it turns out that they didn't even want such a change, right? So before doing that, you should obviously just firstly raise an issue. So for that we click on this particular button which says new issue. Okay, great. So now over here, the title of your issue for this particular repository, Code Crossroad, it should be the name of the question that you want to contribute your code for, right? So I'm simply going to write toSum. Okay, toSum is a very standard problem. Although in this session we are not going to go into the details of the coding and all, because obviously this is beyond the scope of this session. Okay. Now in the description of your issue, you should be clearly mentioning the problem statement, okay, and your solution for it. So I have already basically done the needful, so I'm just gonna take it up, okay, copy it, and I'm gonna paste it over here. So the thing is that since this code is something, this problem statement, or let's say this problem is of my own, like it is not one of the problem statements mentioned by the team members in any of the topic folders, so I will have to mention the problem statement clearly and completely, right? So this is the problem statement. Then I have also mentioned the input and the output over here, as you can see, right? And then the explanation as well. So let me just increase the font size maybe. Okay, right. After having done that, I basically provide them with a kind of gist of what my solution is going to look like. So I have written that I'd like to provide a well-commented C++ code to this problem with the most optimized time and space complexity of order of n. Kindly assign this issue to me. Okay, so please notice that I clearly mentioned which language I'm going to be using, that is C++, and what is going to be the time and the space complexity of my solution, right? And ideally I should also be mentioning the folder in which I intend to contribute this particular code. So I'll simply write I'd like to add the solution in the array topic folder. Okay, great. So now after having done that, nothing is left, you just simply submit this issue. Okay, great. So now you can see that your issue has been opened. It's an open issue, right? So now we'll wait for the maintainers to kindly look into this issue, and once they assign this issue to us, we can start working on this, right? And you should notice one thing, that this issue has a unique number which says #113. So this will be of significance in the later steps, so we'll see to it. So let's just see to it if we have been assigned the issue yet by the maintainer. Just keep refreshing, okay, because it doesn't automatically inculcate the changes. So let's see if we are assigned. Okay, so you can see that we have been assigned this issue, so now we can start working on this issue, right? Okay, great. So now what we have to do is get back to your project, right? Click on this. Now we are over here in the project. Now since we have to start making the changes and start adding the files, as mentioned earlier, it's always a good practice to pull all the recent changes that might have happened with the original repository firstly into your project on the local machine. So again, I'm simply gonna say right click, git bash here. Okay, great. So I'm gonna increase the font size, right? And I'm gonna pull all the changes. So the command for that is git pull upstream main. Okay, main is the name of the branch. Okay, in some places the name of the branch will be master, so you will have to replace main with master. So after having done that, you can see that our project on the local machine is already up to date with the original repository. Okay, cool. Now, after having done that, we can simply go and make the required changes in our repository. So since we are contributing a code of our own, we have to simply contribute, or let's say add two files. One should be the MD file, that is the question file, and the other one should be the solution file, right? So I'm just going to create a right. So since we are contributing the question from our own side, so we will have to contribute the question file as well, right? So I'm just going to get back to git bash, and you can see that we are already in code crossroad. So what I'm going to do is that I want to come inside the array folder as well, right? So I will simply just, let's say I'll exit from over here, right? And now over here I'll do git bash here, okay, in the array folder. Okay, let me increase the font size. Great. Now over here I have to create a new empty file, and I'll name it as to sum.md, right? And we do it by using the touch command. So if you are unaware about this command, make sure to check out the second session of the 6 days GitHub Bootcamp. Okay, everything has been explained in detail over there. Great. So now if you go back to your project, you can see that a tosum.md file has been created, right? So I do nothing, I simply open it up, right? And I have to give the problem description over here. So I have it already, just a second, right? So let me open that up. Great. So it is the same thing. I'll just copy it again, right? Okay, and I'll make the changes in this problem, and I'll just remove this solution wala part. Okay, now everything is good. Save it. Great. So your tosum.md file has been modified, or let's say added, right, along with the complete, let's say, the problem statement and everything. Okay, so the question file is done. Now let's get back to our project. Now it's time to add the CPP code file. So what I'm going to do is, I already have this code pasted on my Dev C++. So I'm not going to go into the depth of the code and all, because obviously this is beyond the scope of this session. Okay, so the guidelines for the code base are clearly mentioned in the README of the project, so you should go and check them out. So it clearly mentions that at the top you should be having the algorithm explained in detail. So that is what I've done over here. Okay, then you have the algorithm, okay, the complete code in CPP. Great, it should be a well commented code. Okay, and you should try and make it user input, that is, there should be a main function. Okay, great. And then in the end you should mention the time and the space complexities with the explanation, and at least 2 sample test cases, or let's say example. Okay, so just a second, it will be example 2 as well, right? Great. So I'm simply just gonna save this file. Okay, and I'm gonna save this file in my code crossroad project. So where it is, in the array folder, right? And the name of the file should be, as per the naming convention mentioned clearly, tosum. Okay, separated by an underscore. Great. So now it is saved, right? So if you go and see, you can see I have this one question file and the one solution file. Okay, so now once you have made the changes, right, so go back to your project. Okay, and just a second, no, let's just exit from here. Now you have to basically push the changes made to your overall project to your forked repository, right? So that is why we come back to the main project area and not in some subfolder and all, right? And over here I'll do git bash here again. Okay, Great. So let me just do this. Fine. So now let's check the status of my project. So I type in the command git status. Okay. Now you can clearly see it says that there are no untracked files, two untracked files. So one is the twosum.cpp file and the other one is twosum.md file. Okay. So these are the untracked files. Now what we have to do next is we have to stage these files, right? We have to bring them on the staging area. So before actually committing, Git requires us to mention all the files that we actually want to commit. So for example, let's say we made 10 commits, 10 changes, okay? But we are sure about only 5 changes that we want to commit, right? So we have to explicitly mention those 5 things and we bring them on the staging area, and then is only when we commit them, right? So to bring them on the staging area, I simply type in the command git add dot. Why dot? Because I want to add all the changes that I've made till now to the staging area for the commit, right? If you want to add only, let's say, some files out of many files that have been changed to the staging area, then you write in the command or type in the command git add and the file name. Okay, so I just enter. So if I check the git status now, you can see that changes to be committed, there are these 2 files which are on the staging area. Okay, so these are staged, right? You can see over here, right? And now they are ready to be committed. So I'm just going to simply say git commit along with the message, and I'm going to type in the message added the question and the C++ solution code files to the problem, let's say of the problem. Twosum. Okay. With that done, it is finally committed. Okay, and now if let us check the git status. So we can see that there's nothing to commit and our working tree is clean, and in fact our branch is ahead of origin or main by 1 commit, right? Okay, so now we have to push these changes to our fork repository. So I simply write in git push origin main, right? So it simply means that push these changes to the main branch of my origin. Origin is simply another name, let's say, for my fork repository, right? So I press enter and wait for the further steps. So now you can see I'm prompted to enter my GitHub credentials again. So this may or may not be the case with you. Okay, so it depends from person to person, and I'm just gonna type in, and let's see, it's again gonna prompt me to enter my credentials, so just do it. Okay, then again. Okay, so now let me type in my password and let's see. Okay, great. So now you can see, I think we are done with it, right? So if I now go back to my fork repository so as to see, right? So let me just refresh it and let me just get it to normal. Okay, so this is my fork repository, you can see, and if I see over here, there we are. There are these 2 files that we added onto our local machine, but now as you can see, it is here on our fork repo, right? This is the question file, right? Let me just press the back button again, and this is my CPP file. Okay, great. Now we have to create a pull request, right? So what a pull request means? A pull request simply means that we request the project maintainers or the owners of the original repository to pull the changes from my forked repository, right? So you can see over here, it shows to me in my forked repository that this branch, that is the main branch, is 1 commit ahead of DSC Banasthali Vidyapeeth's main branch, right? So you can see this particular option over here of contribute. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say open the pull request, right? So after having clicked that, I just need to review this, everything, what all you did and what all you didn't, and then you can simply create a pull request, right? Click on this. Now the title of your pull request should be this: fixes, right? Hashtag the issue number. So as far as I remember, it was issue number 133, right? So what it does is it helps the review or the maintainers to basically know for which issue you have basically made this PR, right? And in the description, you can simply add that I have added the question and the well commented C++ code file for the problem to some, right? Kindly review my PR and a smiley, and you can just then create the pull request, right? Now after having created the pull request, you should be patiently waiting for the maintainers or the reviewers to review your code and your contribution and merge them into your main project if they find everything right. Okay, so let's just wait and see to it. Let me just refresh it to see if it is, let's say, done or not. So this is DSC Vanasthali Vidyapeeth's code crossroad repository, and you can see that now the pull requests are 4. Earlier there were 3. You can see that you have this particular pull request, and if I just open this up, okay, the maintainers might be checking it, so let's just wait. Okay. Okay, so now if we go on to the pull requests and we check ours, so I think ours has been reviewed and closed, so just checking the close thing, right? So here we are, fixes 133, right? And you can see that the maintainer has reviewed it, right, approved it, and it has been successfully merged, right? So congratulations, you have finally made your first open source contribution to Code Crossroad. And to be honest, this is the simplest way in which you can kickstart your open source journey. So I think and I hope that the concepts explained were clear, and now you can easily go and contribute to this particular repository of DSC Vanasthali Vidyapeeth. Okay, so all the best.
Now I would like to show you all the glimpse of 30 days of Google Cloud. The challenge is live now. The sessions for the Google Cloud Jam will be held on every Tuesday 9 a.m. in the morning on YouTube. The first session for the same will be there on 28th September. So all the registered candidates, in order to grab these swags, do join in. Now, I would like to thank all the attendees for joining in today's sessions. And I would request you all to stay tuned to all our social media handles, and do not forget to attend the upcoming sessions of the GitHub Bootcamp. Thank you.